How it's Fanta?
Mr. Ottenden.
Mr. De Minty that Fanta that eti Fanta.
When is that?
On your fancy, American on your fancy. I could feel my own mamma show 1 or 2 be attending, and the baby to know how they on your fancy. Our fancy is anti fancy. AAC, SCF, if you offended, a homaso. Don't call if you are homaso, at be that. See, one. To other Cafantina, make a joint.
So we need
Hold on.
So we need the bar. Okay, no one bashoon.
Oh, dear.
So we need the bashoon.
I don't know.
Johnny.
I don't know.
Oh,
I don't know what has happened.
Who is a minimum? I
then see. And then I see a be mad.
Unye show no.
Are they?
I was them check akra.
Going.
Obi a hack him account. And you should shame when I saw me buy and I'm a call Pauli more. Social media team say no. Obi pussy near me be war. My ex Facebook page, any idea. It seems to be a hack him account no. So me de ma Pauli so omu shame mame. And Yahuni Pacro.
Why?
It drew her. Make us say take for neighbor. And I'll make sure say the pan be there. Take for way a criminal act.
Take student as I take for.
Me say take police station. My query report.
On by day.
I won't be chini pan or hacking account no.
I didn't know
because this is unacceptable.
On a day.
Any pa me no nama de bia e koba uti be hacking account.
And
the sebi o be say guma ni man see the chiri ase. And I'll make sure say you pay for it. You why give me my account? How on earth am I top 4? Me top 4. Me Manchester film the Chelsea. Na me Chelsea I can say yenye fair system within count. Fair system.
But Rich, to what you say graphic na echo around that.
It's not from me.
Why and Mr. Wetier for Uti. Yeah, this is the graphic.
The graphic
Richard
is not from me.
Oh, relax. This is the graphic Richard is talking about. What's the graphic we and what? Obi na akwakoye graphic we.
Me picture na that so.
Ina make anti oniba ko na akoye graphic no.
Say nipa na hack him account we no. Eno no aye graphic na o post
ina make eno post for account.
I my account you.
It's the graphic no enye wo na aye.
The graphic is not from me.
Me na say me that's a maxing enye wo na wo ye.
Enye me na me ye.
And into obi na kokoye.
Sure.
Eno be so gu anim ase.
Nipa no so nim na ho. Me ne na koba da bi edidi
to boase. I'm supposing to say nipa na cannot all person who accusing me. Now go straight forward. I'm saying friend my lawyer say. So Ujidi said me na be hacking account. I go straight forward. I will adduce my evidence. Then I'll call my lawyers. Then we go to a legal battle. Say what happened there.
Police for the bar. I hope that this explanation nobody no police station.
Me lawyer ni have party. Police
this is unacceptable.
Police ni be infamous.
And a criminal act.
How is it criminal?
So be hacking account.
Me wo.
Now I got transfer your top for the account to me my account.
You see, a tore bia.
Hey.
Aya who make move. Uja evidence owechi. Na me forensic science ka bia me your final year okay university. You say in every room a criminal abemuno. There is a sign of evidence. In your group are your womb in Shira Passports group. You be say out for top 4 bra. And I the 2 men I have the screenshot here. I will show it now.
Mini problem.
Me can say oh yeah Twitter. I took my time to screenshot. Abra kata yes graphic we no or the 2 no. I took that screenshot. Opa obi o tie me bia nko Shira FM, Facebook. Enko check say na if this was not posted by an husband na me hacking no.
Kofi explanation
meba. Hospital na me hacking na.
Meba.
Me be say
me top 4 na me yet 2. Your group no so.
And so na ye.
Meba.
Obi hack phone no so e 2 group.
Already nipa na hack account. It the meme type no type a different thing. Because me top 4 me ye no was Liverpool, Manchester United, Arsenal, and then Tottenham Hotspur.
Okay,
that was my top 4.
Oh, my police for them.
Then later I realized Obia Pussy there maybe Manchester top 4 him. How?
Mami, me police for Mami Yemi.
You the show now number before the wako.
Me oh if me the back.
Criminal act. So what ma?
Oh my if me the back.
Me na me catch you.
For what reason?
Yeah, show you how do you bounce on me? Oh my if me my contact police station.
Me say on be family the mark of.
They be as me no kwa me be na you criminal. I'll make sure say me do be oh. Who go me Nano, oh, yeah, what fair man for catch up to me, Basso of a Chelsea Jesse. Into a monto Chelsea Jesse.
You want out in a guy?
Yanam kind of say, I could 2 for catches them in Chelsea V.
No, Uncle Fosso met Chelsea Jesse.
Oh, over some 10 a brand 10 against me, me, Bama, one. I feel they drew to the point say, oh, Hakim account.
Never pump party papa Nasi, you see a party papa.
You don't worry.
You don't worry.
What
do you matter? Rich. Only police is same way they will see how it goes now. And now Luis Enrique we need a Super Cup. I think it's the very first time a French team may win a Super Cup. No, Marseille has won the Champions League before. Paris Saint-Germain is the first time we win the Champions League, and they're going to play in the Super Cup final against Tottenham Hotspur, who had also never won the Super Cup before. So it means that now obviously you're being a new winner of the Super Cup. Which meaning said before the game started, had you realized that this was the first game in Paris Saint-Germain for ball in 4 weeks? Since Club World Cup final number with Chelsea, no more match, yeah. And they went into the game with a Tottenham Hotspur side. Now they have done a lot of work under Thomas Frank. I can several times. People don't give credit to coaches like Thomas Frank. He's a good manager, very very good manager. Open managers are almost very very good, compact. Mid block, 5 back, 3 back, no, transiting constantly to give you goals. Thomas Frank is one of those managers, excellent in that regard. And he was put into a place where he had to find solutions about how to be compact and play against Paris Saint-Germain. And I think that he did well. 3 back, the 2 wingers, the 2 wing backs, and then a midfield of Pap Matsa, Rodrigo Bentancur, and Abentia. Palinha was very very good for the style of football no person. Which also when the Paris Saint-Germain like Enzo Maresca did in the Club World Cup, there are 2 things you have to do: press them aggressively man for man, progress here. Do FIFA after the job when kita na ba compact on FIFA and they did well. Which in FIFA I think that is where Paris Saint-Germain, that is where Tottenham Hotspur were at their best, especially a branch of friend Pap Matsa.
It is so.
Charlie, in the modern game, say, because of technical ability, or more minimum chain, tight space control, all the nice adjectives they describe the attacking players in we fail to reward hard work. Rich, in that Madrid team, there is all the stars, Mbappe and what have you. Every day, there is always a place of applause for our branch friend Federico Valverde. For one reason: working hard, covering of grounds, being aggressive, being combative, and you're very important. And I see the same trait in our branch friend Pap Matsa. Look at the distances that he was covering, especially in the first half. Left, bar right, Babe Jibo, Babe Winnie dwells. Constantly made sure that he was in the game and covered ground for team and friend Tottenham Hotspur. And doing that, knowing that Abrante Fenix Palinha won, knowing that Rodrigo Bentancur won, it was a brilliant base to do with Paris Saint-Germain for. And it was clear, say Tottenham were sharper, they were much more in the game than Paris Saint-Germain because the Paris Saint-Germain, it was the first time game and not mobile. But again, you won't take anything away from Abrante, your friend Thomas Frank, in that structure. Which, do you think that by the second goal, Paris Saint-Germain will beat me at Tiana? No, Mamini Kamal are preamble. And we had to around there 4 or 5. I think that throughout the day, all of the Super Cup finals from I think somewhere around 2015. Tinimeko to 2015 there so. 2015 was Barcelona versus Sevilla. Now Luis Enrique is the coach for Football Club Barcelona. And in that game, it was a first game. Ever Banega able free kick essay. In the first few minutes, Ever Banega scored a goal for team friend Sevilla against Barcelona. Rich, Lionel Messi has 2 solid free kick goals to make it 2-1 before the game could even progress. Later on, the game ended 4-4 in regulation time. Then Pedro Gonzalez, Pedro, team friend Barcelona, winning. So in my head, when I saw that Paris Saint-Germain had gone down by a goal to 0, I said, hey, in that Luis Enrique team of Barcelona against Sevilla, is this the same thing I'm going to see tonight? Are they going to go on and win the game? And now I said, Tottenham must well be good. But if you see how far the game traveled, And how compact Tottenham Hotspur were. She backline. Mickey van der Ven, Kuti Romero, Abentie Feno Danson, Jed Spence in that area. Of course, the fact that Destiny Udojiri no playing, that's why Spence was in there, Pedro Porro, and then the solid midfield three of Bentancur and Mo and Wofi for them, which I felt that this was going to be a Tottenham Hotspur night. I don't know.
Chelsea didn't catch it.
Say, this Paris Saint-Germain
team. Over show, man.
Yeah.
Just on midfield, no, lock them.
Yeah.
And you are good to go. And they did that in the first half. Second half, I know Tottenham could die. And especially the last 10 minutes of the game.
Yeah.
Meaning the reason why I'm more person defending. This PSG team, you don't defend.
Right? They search too deep. Too deep.
What's it too deep?
And
I'm the ball about bombarded.
Yeah. And I also think that Thomas Frank, he's a top manager. But when here, the nemesis of being a small team coach, like we coach at the small team level for a long time,
yeah.
Because time Oyi Pap Matsa film.
Why do you take Kudus out?
Oyi Kudus a film. You have to say that because what people don't understand is that once Kudus is good on the ball, Kudus works relentlessly hard without the ball. One of the attackers in Europe, Obe chasing down every ball in every game. Who's after the ball, the man in the attacker, he will do things for you. It's Mohamed Kudus. So taking off Mohamed Kudus, drop the Tottenham Hotspur intensity in terms of the press on up top, and only force them to drop deep and then defend their box. Rich, Paris Saint-Germain there. Who defend the box? You can only do it for too long. They will find the spaces. And we said that it was coming. It was coming. Small. Yeah. Now, Luis Enrique said, no, in 80 minutes, he believed that Tottenham Hotspur deserved it more than him, like we all are saying. But as no one said, the players believed more. So make them Tottenham, and they kept on going. Of course, the goal from Lee Kan in Ebaye in the 84th minute. Then, of course, later on, the goal went on into extra time. Emanebe 2-2. Then it went to penalties. Which, how did you see the Paris Saint-Germain goalkeeper, Abrantia Efreno, Lucas Chevalier?
And the first match in the
was it
one or two mistakes?
Yeah,
but
in fact, before the second goal, I felt like he was the best Paris Saint-Germain player.
He did so well.
Yes, before that,
maybe a second goal.
Yes, before that second goal, no. Chevalier looks like he's the best Paris Saint-Germain player. It looks as if Chevalier proves that he's a good goalkeeper. At that time, no, people were saying, oh, Gianluigi Donnarumma and stuff like that. See, the boy, he's just 23 years of age. Only the clout of Gianluigi Donnarumma, only the level of Gianluigi Donnarumma. It is potential. And sometimes we can disagree with the coaches, but he's not a bad shot stopper either. And I think, say, when he came to the penalty shout, no, when he needed to save me team, when the penalty started, Tottenham Hotspur for and the kind Echo Jinam, Paris Saint-Germain for. Then Paris Saint-Germain missed their first penalty. And I was asking myself, hey, then it means that it's going to be a long night for them. And even for Guillermo Vicario, he was jubilating. Everything. Or moving Guillermo Vicario to the far. Only said, wait, boy, the near move Guillermo Vicario Cromo. The game was played at the Stadio Frigi, Udine in Italy, and he is an Udine boy through and through, Vicario. So it was a place where he could enjoy because I had the room or he wanted to win the trophy there. Rich, from there, 2 missed penalties, one saved by Abrantia Feni Lucas Chevalier on a day where he was making his Paris Saint-Germain debut. Yes, it wasn't as flamboyant as maybe he would have loved it, but he was important, saved the penalty, and won his first trophy for team my friend Paris Saint-Germain. Congratulations to them. Omuli started this Sunday, and we expect that they will begin to do better. Rich, after the game, TNT Sports say last season, Ababisi and Ocean numbers now. Abrantia FN Ousmane Dembele, 53 appearances, 35 goals, 17 assists. Oh, we need the Champions League, Ligue 1, French Cup, Trophy de Champ, and of course the UEFA Super Cup. These are 5 trophies. And yet Chelsea and Katime Freno, Paris Saint-Germain, we need the 6 tuplets in a season. Which does this give him the Ballon d'Or?
Sure.
Sound common here. Usman, Rafinha is being shamed by Beijing Finisa.
Rafinha, no, the DNA or the Beji Ballon d'Or.
So the numbers are not you.
Saying.
The goals in the assist numbers are not you, Rich.
And I would do to me
or the La Liga.
Apart from La Liga DB.
So last season, no more G.
Because criteria and say
Copa del Rey.
Criteria and say
Yeah.
I saw the numbers and then I would do 2 years.
Say more influential.
Nti hono unia and check a box no.
Say hono.
Or the obono.
Where they are.
See them believe fadi no.
Okay. It's and Ranajo, Barca got good news.
Okay.
The good news and they say Barca for the medical reports for Abrante Freno. Marc-Andre ter Stegen echo command the La Liga for to assess and see 5 months time for them to take off Abrante Freno Marc-Andre ter Stegen's numbers off the books now. Accepting and some accepting and the La Liga for say it meets the requirements. So and then in front of Mundo and Spora NEJ and they said they are going to register Joan Garcia in front of Sport. Put it almost say the boy will play. It means that Joan Garcia will play over the weekend against Tima, your friend Mayoka. I want to go straight to this before I talk about anything. Who is a Mumbai your top teams on betting because what's now leagues is starting.
Premier League is starting.
Yeah. Maybe the Obia Hakemi. And you Obia now better come what time a picture me have to see. If you are seeing that this picture is moving around social media, I am the one who did it.
Okay.
I am the one who gave them the list to do it. In fact, in my first original list, Obi or your group will tell you say I had Chelsea as the number 1 and Arsenal as number 2. Then I said, hold on a minute. Which I didn't think I say Arsenal in the Belgian League. For the past 3 seasons, I have said consistently say Arsenal Belgian League. Almost every time I say Arsenal Belgian League, Arsenal Belgian League, and they have disappointed me in about 3 seasons. But Rich, I think that Arsenal have done the few things that we kept on saying. Say, league. At first, it was about experience. They didn't have that experience. Now they have it. Then it went down to the fact that certain key players.
They are the masses of experience, you know.
Also, my brother be this second year. This now at least league, you know, say. Send you a bit chasey, you the anima saying SCA. Now they have core players that they have gone through that process. Enough kaka. At least they Baba was okay. Your body say maybe you're 3 points below. Last season you saying I'm fine. Say kaka. The same coach, the same call. Saliba is there. Gabriel Magalhaes, David Raya, Odegaard. All of these players are still in the Arsenal team, and they have it. Which away from that, in the subsequent season, we came here. We said, say. Nientia Arsenal for are going to be second. That could not win the league was that players like William Saliba, and Gabriel Magalhaes, and even last season Bukayo Saka, Eprae, and these are important players. So it means that have Arsenal solved the issue of the squad depth? Now this season they've brought in one young centre back called Gabriel Mosquera, who can play both at Magalhaes' area and William Saliba area, and that is for me an important one. Again. Other winger in a bench for Noni Madueke to give them a different style of creating from the wide area. Yes, Arsenal for no reservations of Madueke, but he's a winger. He gives you something else than Martinelli who cannot give you assistance now. And then of course, Rich, we spoke about the absence of Arsenal's centre forward. Somebody who can give them 15, 20, 30 goals in a season. And Rich, they have brought in Europe's last season highest scorer. Without the coefficients, no, Europe, no, Abrante friend Victor Gyökeres in their team. So he gives them that goal. The experience has come, and it looks as if Arsenal also have what it takes to go in and go in. So for me, I would rather want to put my money on them. Do you know why I put Chelsea at second? For me, like I said, I think that Chelsea for a huge momentum. I think, sir, from the first 10 matches here, Chelsea will take the lead in the English Premier League. I said it here, say, Club World Cup na Chelsea boy, you know. It is going to be more positive for Chelsea from now to the middle of the season than negative. Now, when you get to about game week 15 to 18, Chelsea will now have to manage the players and the owners will come to Enzo Maresca. Now, who Enzo Maresca's game management of players? Okay, last season, Maresca team dropping regimes our own pride. No more be sound also unrational. Okay, only Wesley Fofana. Wesley Barber can say, oh, no say there, he will be back in soon. Maresca said there, you won't play. Wesley came back after defying the coach. Later on, he had to go and sit there. So I like Maresca's management, and Chelsea has the depth now. Now, the reason why I don't think, and I think that Chelsea will fall short slightly of the league is 2 reasons. One, I think that the absence of Levi Cole in the long term will affect the team. Now, on a good day, Maesca would want a left centre back. Or Benoit Belachila left centre back. Chelsea fans are not comfortable with Benoit. And even with me, I'm a big fan of Benoit. I know that there is a mistake in Benoit. When you have a Brentford friend Wesley Fofana, that's a very, very good pair to play at the back. But there is always a mistake in a Brentford friend Benoit Belachile. Rich, make us an Arsenal for the quality I come with team with the existing players now. Chelsea have let certain players who have grown in experience in the league go. And there I can say, if things go as we are all looking at it, Rich, you better start this season and Nicolas Jackson and your Chelsea striker. Take it or leave it. You may have your issues with Nicolas Jackson, but the experience in the league would have been important for this season. And he's going. Noni Madueke, he is not the most flamboyant player. But the fact that another right winger, which is your Chelsea right winger, Estevao Williana, Ofi Brazil, never.
About a different league.
But different league. And the only other person is Pedro Neto. Now, Pedro Neto last season was managed well by Enzo Maresca. Otimi more games than he had ever played at Wolverhampton Wanderers, which is good. But imagine Pedro Neto goes down there. Now, the right wing only goes to Abrantia Fen Estevao Willian. I have a little bit of an asterisk in that area.
Okay.
So, these reasons, Chelsea midfield for me, it's probably the best that you can get. Maybe by Manchester City or League Game. But that's the reason. Liverpool, the number 6 that they don't have. You see, people talk about the technical ability of Florian Wirtz, and I love him. But without the ball, I think Florian Wirtz to be tested. Because now, he won't play Domenico Szoboszlai as a 10. Now, people underrate Domenico Szoboszlai. Szoboszlai working very hard without the ball. The intensity to press and win back the ball is very important. He does it so well. But he isn't going to be there. It means that Florian Wirtz plays as a 10. I saw it against Crystal Palace. Can he do that job? For me, without a 6 now, a big question. And of course, I think that City have lost a lot of things. Sure. Honestly, I don't feel City. Then there's more about feeling, and in me, say, can City really get there? And also,
funny feeling,
yeah. And Rodri out of the team game, and they have to start the season like that. Okay. For me, these are my predictions.
Now, on your top 4, no,
yeah.
Message kakrebia bana me ma un rap up so na ayala mra. Tell say on Facebook or say Fifi. You are just teasing Arsenal. They can't even place 3rd this season, as far as the league is concerned. Because I say, Fifi, I'm sorry, Arsenal disappoint you again. Arsenal finished 3rd this season. They blew their chances last season. They also number 1 in Kabea, sign Kotinasina.
What was a valido?
Obi crowd was saying 5-year experience.
Yeah.
They be out, open experience. 5 years, how?
On consensus here, very valid. But I think that is where we would disagree. I think that this is the reason why Arsenal win. Almost very, very good consistency. For me, this is my top 4. But oh, there.
Miss Samo, Monso Moshe show, my top 4 diaba. Yami Aduma, Premier League in a statue of China. Your top 4 brass CA. Na yemfa enkenkan a message me dia no me din kan so me say a Liverpool Manchester United
it's graphic no
what is graphic no bi na hakeme ye wo a ye criminal a wo kodem sie bubo code no so nyenko me say nyamia sa top 4 no nyam na me ye there's no way me top 4 me de Chelsea back ho da ti ma me yi mi sakura e bi si da
e overte what there it's
Chelsea me time one confirm say me free yes certain way me say me call for Chelsea in Cameroon take it from me
but and the Europa League and Conference League matches for one of in my mouth code me show what joining me on YouTube Insura TV and also Facebook obetime take a screenshot of the quotes now Rich Mami and wish birthday for mini chip opposite the Mina Hospital top tailor and na Danfo birthday lady Biod a friend of Miss Emilia Pokia or a teacher D&D kiddie care na mini chip is a main 5 for the cases na me wishing happy birthday Madam Emilia Yamin Shaw and Corona Shaw Mosunshra AB Emrao so Rich these are the codes and then for Europa League and the Conference League big odds bar 30 odds 10 20 Oko all of the social media handles are on first one a BWA9229AE second one a BWA991 16C2. Third one a BW A99 5DAC, and our last one a BW A99 7DFT. Yes, my main check 2,000 Ghana cedis and more BCCI.